Good afternoon. Good evening. I think it's evening now. Well, it's still light outside, so I guess, well, looks like everybody's been coming in. So I'm going to talk about a bit on Venus and Jupiter conjunction. Yeah, but let me just wait until my regulars come in before I go into this. So yeah. So I do want to say is that it was very positive, and it's Venus and Jupiter. This conjunction is going to bring in a lot of light, a lot of healing for both divine feminine and divine masculine, and I'm very eager to look forward to that. I look forward to that. But like I said, I'll just wait for a couple more people to come in before I jump into that. Don't want people to miss things. So hey, Bridget. So yeah, let's just wait for everybody else, and we will get attracted trolls nonetheless. So my trusty mods are just gonna take care of me. Well, I just let me see. Oh, now there's more people. Hi, everybody. Yeah. Hi. How are you though? How are you today? Yeah. Honestly, we get. Hey, what's up, Linda? We're just waiting for one more person before we jump on. So, but I just want to know thank you very much for supporting me. It really does mean a lot. And I want you to know is that I would not be here today without the support. Everybody has very much helped me to very much grow. And it really does mean a lot. Again, appreciation. So we got five now. So let me start on the Venus and Jupiter conjunction. So I'm going to be honest. I am not an expert at astrology, but I'm going to be saying that um, Jupiter's a planet of luck. Jupiter's a planet of expansion. And Venus is obviously the love and relationship planet. So a conjunction, I know this much, is a very harmonious and a very intense matchup. It's really good. So what I feel from my own knowledge is that you're going to be going through a lot of shifts and realizations due to this portal divine feminine. So let me jump into divine feminine. So divine feminine, there may be I guess you could say like an expansion in consciousness going on for you right now. And a lot of you are being called to look at the subconscious mind because there's a pattern that is coming up to be released. And this pattern has to do with the self-limiting beliefs about love. It could be past life, it could be inner teenager, it could be even inner child. Some of you have a mixture of everything. Well, some it's like prominent in some areas, but you will know where it's being pulled toward. So I feel as though the Venus and Jupiter conjunction is really like clearing out the remnants of karmic love, of codependency trauma. All of this is coming up so that the divine feminine could really like anchor into divine love, not just for herself but for her twin flame as well. And this is really causing an expansion in the heart space. So how many of you have been feeling as though I wouldn't say it's like a blasting in the heart, but I feel as though maybe you feel like your heart has just expanded like in a good way. Like it feels so warm, it feels so loving. Like it's a very harmonious energy that I'm describing. And I feel so a lot of divine feminines are in that place of unconditional love toward humanity itself. And I feel as though this is really causing a lot of divine feminines to look at the connection with the divine masculine a lot differently. So I feel as though right now there's accepting that they can love the divine masculine from afar at the moment because they understand the divine feminine understands that the divine masculine is walking alongside her in this journey. And even though she doesn't exactly like see the road converging at the moment, it does not mean it's not converging. A lot of divine feminines are really focused on dismantling the narratives they have about love because they genuinely want to really trust and love. But it's like you can say the ego is kicking up a storm right now. And with this conjunction, I feel as though a lot of untruths about love are going to be revealed for the divine feminine. And this is a really good thing because divine feminine has asked the divine, what else am I not seeing? Where am I not, like, being my true authentic self? And I feel as though the divine feminine is going to be dismantling her. She's going to be dismantling her ideologies and belief system yet again. And I feel as though as the divine feminine goes through a reinvention, she is going to be doing some deep shadow work, and she's going to be doing a lot of shadow work around rejection and abandonment. So, enter past life trauma. There is still past life trauma being cleared by the divine feminine. A lot of divine feminines have been waking up feeling more tired than usual. And it feels like this is because they're doing some deep inner clearing in the higher realms with the divine masculine. Messages are being exchanged. Some divine feminines might even wake up feeling their divine masculine's energy, and they're wondering, have I encountered a divine masculine? Yes, you have. But I feel as though, again, that the divine feminine is being called to actually clear the karmic luck. When I mean by karmic luck, I'm not talking about toxicity. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm talking about, like, putting duty above love, obligation above love. And I feel as though a lot of us have been wired to put others before ourselves, as that is love, but love is sacrifice is coming up really strongly for the divine feminine. Because divine feminine, you have your permission to follow your heart. You have your permission to choose the connection with the divine masculine. And all those fears are just your programming just trying to crop up. And it also knows that this time is limited. And for what I want you to know, divine feminine, is that today and yesterday have been very good days for manifestation. And the Lionsgate energies are starting to fade, but I can say that the Lionsgate energies will be gone by the 16th. But anyway, this is a very good ground for creation. This is a very good ground for, like, moving from the divine masculine. I will get to that in a minute, but I'm just going to say that the divine feminine, this is a time of renewal. This is a time of reinvention. So expect your mind to be going through a lot of shifts. You're going to be looking at the relationship with yourself and your relationship to love a lot differently. You're going to be seeing where you self-sabotage, where you chose duty above love, and where you chose obligation over following your own heart. So a lot of divine feminines are really working on embodying the divine feminine energy right now. Because the divine feminine doesn't abide by the rules of society. She doesn't try to, like, fit back into the matrix and try to, like, find a love that's clearly not for her. A lot of the divine feminines are, like, becoming okay with standing out. They're becoming okay with, wanting different. And I feel so a lot of divine feminines are starting to see that the divine is protecting them from, having a love that would I wouldn't even call it love. It's more like letting duty and obligation deter from our actual purpose. A lot of purpose blocks are being cleared for divine feminine right now, and I'm getting to what that might mean for the Jupiter Venus conjunction. It's more about divine feminine is realizing that she can have it all. And a lot of divine feminines are, like, again, settled in their heart space. They know what they want, and they're not willing to, like, settle for anything less. So a lot of divine feminines are really working on their fear of being alone. They're really working on their fear of not being enough, their fear of not being chosen. All this is coming up today and will continue until the 16th. And if also divine feminine is going to have a lot of major breakthroughs about how she was, like, again, trying to control the connection with the divine masculine, how she was trying to, like, make things happen on her time. And now a lot of the divine feminines are starting to see that they did not trust the divine plan. And they're stepping back. They're again loosening the grip majorly. They're really loosening this grip so that the divine feminine can, really give it up to the divine. She's not giving up on a connection. That's not what I'm saying at all. She's accepting that the divine will make the miracle happen, and it's about like affirming to herself that she believes in the impossible. And I feel as though what does this have to do with the divine masculine? Well, I feel as though this actually they're marrying very heavily right now. There is a mode of deeper surrender going on, deeper surrender to the process, deeper surrender to healing, deeper surrender to love. The divine feminine is like saying, "I want things to happen on their own time." And it's like, again, she is trusting that it's closer. She's not, again, letting go and just like, oh, I'm going to go with the soulmate. No, divine feminine is like saying, I will live my life. I will trust. And I'm going to trust in the divine to bring about this change. And this is a good place to be because a lot of divine feminines are focusing heavily on themselves. They're focusing on getting their life together. Do not focus on trying to make the divine masculine move. Again, this state of embodying wholeness and completeness is really rippling out and is causing the divine masculine to admire the divine feminine because she's no longer needing that need for him to reciprocate, for anybody to reciprocate, because she realizes her worth. And she's not gonna let people like tear her off her throne. She's not gonna like rise herself down in order to be to be accepted or liked. A lot of divine feminists are like, no, I am the prize. I love myself, and the who's meant for me will rise with me. So it's like divine feminine is done chasing after people. She's done trying to be accepted and liked. Again, there's a huge embodying of the divine feminine going on for divine feminine right now, and this embodiment is really pushing her to really be at her most empowered self. So let me go on for divine masculine. What's going on for divine masculine? What I'm going to say about the divine masculine is that the divine masculine is noticing a growth happening for divine feminine. It's noticing that she is evolving at a rapid pace and she's not pushing for the connection anymore. And this state of complete non resistance has the divine masculine curious. I feel as though he's really like heavy in his thoughts about divine feminine right now because he feels like she is evolving and growing, that she is not codependent any longer. She's not looking for him to reciprocate. And this, ironically, is bringing the divine masculine closer to the divine feminine because the more the divine masculine heals, the more he sees that he equated people fighting for something as love. But now divine masculine is seeing that is chasing, and because of that, he understands that if people stop chasing, it's because they realize that they're giving their power away. And I feel as though they're really opening their eyes to what codependent love is. And I feel as though a lot of divine masculines were triggered by divine feminine pulling back her energy, but they're starting to see that that was the conditioning. So a lot of divine masculines are going within to figure out why they got triggered. And I feel as though they're really like looking at their wounds a lot more differently. Again, they've been working on the abandonment and rejection room for the past couple of weeks. And I feel as though they're going really deep. They've hit some kind of gold landmine. And I feel as though this is bringing up a lot of questions for Divine Masculine. Because he was under the impression that he was healed already. That there was no more work to be done. But after this, a lot of Divine Masculines like saying, wow, well, I didn't see it like that. So I feel as though a lot of divine masculines are being called to really trust in the process right now, to really trust that the path is converging with divine feminine instead of again. I did say today that the divine masculine is no longer looking toward the 3D for as a frame of reference. He's unlearning that, and he is. He's understanding that he's the creator of his own reality, and nothing is finite, nothing is absolute unless he makes that. Because divine masculine is becoming more well aware of how his thoughts shaped his reality. And a lot of divine masculines are unlearning that need to self sabotage, unlearning that need to look outward for love and validation. Another thing divine masculine is also letting go of is caring about what other people think. A lot of divine masculines have been working on this for weeks, but I feel as though again there's been some major breakthrough because he sees that this is something that was ingrained into the family line. And divine masculines like said, I'm not gonna this ends with me. So a lot of divine masculines are really focused on being their authentic self. They are focused on being their true self. And I feel as though as divine masculine ends up remembering who he is, this causes him to let go of that need to cater to everybody else's wins, to keep everybody happy. Because divine masculines pay more attention to his anima, and therefore this connection. This is why he's so ruminative. This is why he's so silent, I guess. A lot of divine masculines have gone within. And as I said, you will continue to feel your divine masculine on and off for the duration of the month. And I feel as though this is because divine masculine is making major breakthrough after major breakthrough. And this Jupiter and Venus conjunction is pushing a lot of divine masculines into movement. So some of you may hear from your divine masculine relatively soon, but soon is relative. So I wouldn't say again they're coming tomorrow. Again, it's relative depending on the timeline that you are on. And again, what I'm hearing is that divine masculine is going to be making movement. A lot of you may pick up on your divine masculine wanting to issue communication, or some of you may be bombarded heavily with love songs and you feel your divine masculine speaking to you through them. You can trust those confirmations. Again, I would say the divine masculines are being called to really go and be motivated to go into action, to really, step into his authentic self and to really bring justice to the connection. Because divine masculine has been healing, he's starting to see that when he was healing, he was also delaying putting action. He kept on saying, I'll wait until I'm so and so healed in order to reach out to divine feminine. But divine masculine is realizing he will never be 100% healed. The only time that exists is now. And a lot of divine masculines are moving. They're realizing that ready is not a feeling that will happen at the right time. You will never be 100% ready. So they're being more conscious of the present moment. They're being conscious that our time is not promised. So a lot of divine masculines are starting to see that even though they don't feel ready, they are still moving. So like I said, some of you will hear from your divine masculine relatively soon. And like I said, I don't ask me a timeline on what soon is, because again, that is coming from the divine, and divine time does not recognize human time. So again, just you have your confirmation that your divine masculine is issuing movement if you find this video. So yeah, let me see what else I can say. I am going to be looking into the connection. So the connection, you're going to be killing past life trauma throughout the entirety of Chiron retrograde. I already said this on my Chiron retrograde stream. You can look at it. And I want you to know is that divine feminine and divine masculine are going to be unraveling decades, millennia of worth of programming. And I feel as they end up again moving away from that need to put duty and obligation above love and the heart. A lot of divine feminines or divine masculines are breaking free of the chains that have kept them conformed. And I feel as though the divine feminine in its collective that they're channeling is no longer trying to abide by societal rules. She's no longer trying to again do things that's expected of her. She is following her heart. She is chosen the connection with the divine masculine. And I feel as though again it's more like divine feminine is realizing that again the sacredness of this connection. And in the past, she may have actually ran to someone else. She may have actually, tried to bury herself at work. It is more like divine feminine is understanding where she is running from herself. A lot of divine feminines are really taking that sword in hand and slaying their demons right now, because they are done trying to listen to reason. They are done trying to again make sense of this connection. They are trusting their heart, even if you don't exactly see where that's going to happen. And my cat is purring as meowing as confirmation in case you heard her. So again, a lot of divine feminines and divine masculines are again letting go of that need to, like, again, categorize a connection. They're just being right now. So I feel so a lot of you are going to be working on dissociation trauma over the next couple of weeks, and this will help you to be more present. And I feel so a lot of you are going to be more in your bodies than you ever have been. And this is going to bring up a lot of trauma that you didn't even know you had. Some of you will be doing some relatively deep inner child work over the next 2 months. And this is happening to really cause you to really, like, trust in trust in love, to trust in the divine, and trust in your divine masculine. So this is overall good energy for Jupiter retrograde. Jupiter Venus conjunction, my bad. So yeah, does anybody have any questions? Oh, for my new viewers, this is my cat, Luna. Say hello to the camera, Luna. She's camera shy. Alright. Yeah, Luna sometimes appears on my streams, so. It got a little bit darker. Okay, so I guess there's not any questions. Okay, so let me see. That's the first. Yeah, so I want you to know is that it is an honor to channel this information, because I have been very much blessed to, like, with my powers, and I understand that, and I really do enjoy reading for the collective. I would not read for any other collective except the Twin Flame collective. And I want you to know that if you're resonating with this, great. Honestly, I feel like, again, that was all that needed to be said. So yeah, I'm going to be ending this stream. So yeah, namaste.